Okay, so today we're looking at finding a linear equation. So the knowledge, our learning intention is to gain the knowledge in how to calculate the equation of a linear relationship. You may have done this in Year 9 or Year 10 linear relationships. Okay, you will be successful if you're able to calculate the equation of a line using the point gradient equation. So using this formula, y minus y1 equals m multiplied by x minus x1, where m is going to be the gradient, and your y1 and your x1 is a known point. Okay, you might end up having to find the gradient before and then use that and then select one point to figure out the equation. Okay, let's do some examples. We want to find the equation of a line that has a y-intercept of -7 and an x-intercept of 4. So if I do a quick sketch, right, I don't have to, but it's just a quick sketch to kind of give you an understanding. All right, so think of it, there's my x-axis, there's my y-axis. I have a y-intercept of -7. So somewhere down here at -7, my line cuts this point. And I'll have an x-intercept of 4. Yeah, so somewhere here is going to cut at 4. The one thing I need to have is the gradient. All right. There is my line. So if I think about it, I need to think of what's my rise. So my rise is I've got 7 units up. Right? And my run, so I've got 7 units up and I've got my run of 4 units. So there is my gradient. Okay? My gradient in this point is 7 over 4. Okay? I'm going to use the formula now. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. I know what my gradient is. My gradient is 7 over 4. Okay, now I can pick either this point or this point. Let's just use this point, all right? So this point is technically 4, 0. Yeah, an x coordinate of 4, a y coordinate of 0. Okay, so I'm going to have y minus 0, because that's what my y1 is, multiplied by x minus my x1, which is 4. Okay, cleaning this algebraically, I get y equals 7 over 4, x minus 4, multiply both sides by 4, I get 4y equals 7x minus 4. Expanding this, I get 7x minus 28. Bringing this over here, I get -4y. And now I have it in my general equation. Yeah. So the general form for this equation is 7x minus 4y minus 28 equals 0. If I wanted it in point gradient form, I would say it would be, so point gradient form, so we get y equals 7 over 4x minus 28 divided by 4 minus 7. Of course, -7 y-intercept, and I have a gradient of 4, going up 7 and over 4. Okay. All right. So here's another example. Now I have been given 2 points. I've got point a third, so 1, 3, and -5, 2. All right. So a quick sketch, something like here, 1, 3, -5, and 2. So I'm going up. So my solution should be positive, right? I should have a positive gradient. Right. The first thing I need to do is actually figure out the gradient. And that's we've learnt this formula, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to use this as my first point, and that's my second point. Well, sorry, it doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to go 3 minus -2, so the y values, over 1 minus -5. Notice that my points stay together. So I get 5 over 6. Okay, now I have a gradient. Now I'm just going to pick either one, this point or that point, to use in the other formula. Alright. And for working with nice positive numbers, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so y minus, my y1 is 3. My m, or my gradient, is 5 over 6. My x1 is 1. Okay, cleaning this up, I get y minus 3, 5 over 6, x minus 5 over 6. And we can multiply everything by 6. 6y minus 18, 5x minus 5. Maybe take everything to one side, I'll get 5x minus 6y, and that's going to be plus 18, so negative 5 plus 18 should be positive 13. Good. So my general form is that. And then my my point gradient form is going to be y equals 5 over 6 x, and if I plug x equals to 0 here, so we get 0, I get plus 13 over 6 as my y-intercept. Okay, and then that would be my point gradient form. Alright, I'm going to do an example. So these are quite nice simple maths ones. Where we might see it in our HSC or an exam is where we have a story and we're trying to convert a worded problem into an equation. This is quite popular. So what I've done is I've used the Maths in Focus Advanced textbook. Okay, so there's one question, I think it's question 11 in this exercise, just to show as an example. So it says, Acme Party suppliers earn $5 for every helium balloon it sells. Okay, so the income, I guess, the income in this situation is going to be $5 for every balloon they sell. So letting X be the balloons, I stands for income. Okay. It says if the overheads cost $100 each day, okay, we want to find an equation for the profit. It tells us we're going to use the variable P. So the profit is, it's going to start with $100. The business spends that each day, right? And then the profit is what's remaining, or maybe I'll do it this way. Okay, I'm selling the balloons at $5 X, but then I need to subtract the $100 it costs the business to run, right? So my equation should be P, the profit, is 5 times the amount of balloons, $5 times the balloons it sells, minus $100 for opening up. Okay, and that's the equation. So how much profit does Acme make if it sells 300 balloons? So when X equals 300, P would be 5 lots of 300 minus 1,000. Oh, sorry, 100, sorry. So 5 lots of 300 minus 100 is profit of 1,400. Okay. Here I've got how many balloons does it sells if I make a profit of 1,555. So here I've got, instead of writing P, I write my amount, $1,055. Still 5x minus 100. And now I'm going to solve. So I'm going to add 100 to both sides. And then divide by 5. Is 231 balloons. So we need to sell, or Acme needs to sell 231 balloons to make a profit of $1,055. I really should say here, Acme would make a profit of 1,400 if 300 balloons were sold. Okay, so the next question, last question is, what is the break-even point for this business? Now, the word break-even is really important. It is in our glossary, in the New South Wales Advanced Glossary. The break-even point is the point at which the income and the cost of productions are equal. So the income we notice is 5 over X. We want that to match the cost of production. The cost of production is 100. So what we want to do is, when does P equal 5X? So how many balloons do we have to sell to break even? So we need to make 20 balloons must be sold to break even. Okay, and that's how to find an equation of a line. Okay, so looking at successful criteria, we need to be able to use this formula, especially when we're given 2 points. When we're given 2 points, we've got to find the gradient first and then choose one of those points to find the rest of it. And these are all the examples we've gone through. Okay, so good luck.